Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm a budget mama in the UK and my family of 3 has transitioned to a cash budget system, which is allowing us to stick to our budget and ensure that we don't get into debt as the cost of everything kind of rises. We do have 2 incomes. We have a full-time income and a part-time income. We try as hard as possible to save most of the part-time income. But this stuff today is going to come from our full-time income and is going to be the cash that goes into our cash envelopes and also a couple of sinking funds. So first things first, we'll count what we have. We have 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70. £170 is being stuffed today. We need to go through what is left from last week. In some instances it's better than I hoped, and in others, our food budget, we got down to our last couple of pennies, as you can see. I put 50 into food last week, and I'm thinking that I probably need to put maybe 55 or 60 because we didn't have any extra cash to cover little extras like another loaf of bread or some more milk if we needed it. I do keep the receipts inside the envelope with each individual cash envelope, just to help with balancing the budget at the end of the week. So I do a little bit more work with these, and I will show that in a later video, but for the moment we're just going to focus on what we had remaining, which was 46 pence. So I definitely think we probably need a few more pounds in our food budget this week. I did do a full shop. I mentioned in a previous video that I hadn't done a full food shop for over a month. So last week I did do a full shop. I went to the supermarket that I work at and I got a little bit of a discount. So had I spent full price, we would definitely have gone over our food budget, and we still needed extras on top of what I bought. So I definitely think I need to put a little bit more effort into my meal planning this week. But I also think we need a little bit more money in our food budget. The petrol went into the car. That is still doing fine. I think £70 a week is okay for our petrol. We haven't touched our clothes or shoes, so I put £20 in here, which had I not divvied the money up into individual pots, that would have disappeared, I'm sure, on either extra food or maybe a coffee shop trip or something. So as recently as a couple of weeks ago, I was just taking £100 out of the account and putting it into my purse, and that was to cover everything. It covered food, miscellaneous things, self-care, all of the pots that we have separate now. That £100 covered everything, and it kind of got blown on like trips to the coffee shop or a sandwich at lunchtime or something. So we definitely would not have had £20 left if I'd have done that. So that is a big positive, because now, because it has been earmarked for clothes and shoes for myself and my husband, that is going to build up, and we can actually replace some of our clothes and shoes that need replacing. So I've got more receipts that I will do a bit more work with. This was our self-care budget. We did have to buy shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, and some, oh dear, I'm breaking everything. And some, I just use cheap bubble bath as hand wash. So I've got a hand wash pump in the bathroom, and I just use cheap bubble bath to refill it. So we do have a little bit of money left over in our self-care. I'm going to keep the pounds in, and I'm going to take the small change out, and that's going to go into my big jar of pennies. So self-care still has £4 in. Why am I putting these back in? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Okay, let's take them all out and then we can get everything sorted. I have condensed. So if you saw my previous video, I have taken out all of the envelopes, little zippy wallet things that I'm not filling today. I've taken those all out. I do have another one of these on order from Amazon, so they're going to go in there. Because the sinking funds I don't really touch on a day-to-day basis, so it's better to have them separate and only carry the cash that I'm going to spend on a weekly basis with me. So I've taken them out just to be a bit more streamlined. So our miscellaneous still has a little bit of cash left in it, so again, I'm going to keep the £5, and I don't have any pound coins. No. So all of that loose change is going to go in my big jar of pennies. Or I may possibly start a penny saving challenge. I'll talk about that at the end. I have thought that maybe I might do that. That will make the small change work for me a little bit harder than it does in my big jar of pennies. And the last sinking fund was for my cat. We were very lucky. We already had wet food, dry food, treats and litter enough to last us this week, so we didn't have to dip into the cat fund at all. So I'm debating whether to put another 10 in there or just to leave it as is and put that 10 into savings, but we'll come to that at the end. So let's start with the food and the petrol. So petrol gets 70, 20, 40, 60, 70. So 20, 40, 60, 70. The 70 a week, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of money on petrol. I mean, we used to be able to fill up our car for 55, 60 quid. It's now taking about £80 to fill the car. So it's not quite a full tank a week, but it is close. And that's because, I'm going to put that in the second one, that's because my husband does quite a lot of miles, so he travels to work every day, and we also take our daughter up to my parents for childcare a couple of times a week, and that adds a lot of miles. And we only run the one car, so it's all reliant on that one car. So food, I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I'm going to leave it at the 50. I think I need an extra £5 or £10. I might put the 5 or 10 into like a buffer maybe and see if I can get away with just the 50 if I plan my meals a little bit better. I'm really disappointed in myself. I'm really disappointed because I did the meal planning and I did a proper shop, and I was really excited to get to the end of the week and to have, you know, eaten healthily all week and have money left at the end of the week, and that didn't happen. So I'm a bit disappointed in myself there, but what can you do? We only do what we can do. So clothes and shoes, I'll put another 20 in here. Like I said previously, we are in dire need of shoes and underwear, both my husband and myself. I'm kind of wearing his socks at the moment for work because I don't have any smart black socks that do not have holes in. So his socks are getting double the use, so they're probably going to wear out pretty soon anyway. So I've put another 20 into clothes and shoes. Self-care, I'm going to put 10 in. We shouldn't need to touch it. Ooh, no, I'll put 5 because we've still got the 4 in there. We don't need 10. Oh, but then it's going towards haircuts. I'll put the full 10. I'll put the full 10 and then it can build up, because my husband's going to need a haircut soon, and yeah, and I need to get to the hairdresser too. One of the ways that I do save money is by going to my local college hairdresser. It takes 3-4 times as long, but they are supervised by a fully qualified hairdresser that can fix anything that the students and you know, they're fine, they're chatty, and it does the job. So that's self-care and clothes and shoes. Miscellaneous, I'm going to put another 10 in. So there's 10 in there, so we've got 15 total. And I'm not going to put more money into the cat fund. No, I don't think I am, because the cat fund is only to cover food and litter and treats and catnip and stuff. So even if we need food and litter this week, that 10 will cover it. It's not a problem. So that's all of that, which leaves me with a little bit of extra money. So I've got £10. Now the question is, what do I do with that? So if you are new, one of the things that I do with my extra money is extra, leftover, you know, whatever's left over that is more than like a 50p, is I have my weekly savings challenge, which I need to move to something that isn't a tin, because I feel like it's really noisy to get out on camera. I worry that I'm going to deafen somebody. So the weekly savings challenge is exactly what it sounds like. I've got 52 envelopes. Each envelope has a number on, so 1 through 52, and usually at the end of usually like the weekly income goes into here, but if I've got a little bit of cash left over, I can pop that in as well. So any kind of leftover cash that we want to put towards savings can go into one of those envelopes, and by the end of 52 weeks or 52 envelopes, I will have £1,378, which is amazing. Now, just a quick aside, I didn't have £52 left over 1 week. I previously filled in some of the smaller numbers, and then I felt really daunted about having to save 50 odd quid, so I just kind of condensed those and filled a couple of the larger numbers. So if you are following something like this and you're really struggling to have this money left over, it can be really demoralizing not to feeling like you're not able to achieve that goal. So if you've filled up a few of your smaller ones, condense them and fill a bigger number, and then you can focus, even if you focus on filling numbers 1 through 15, every couple of weeks you can condense them and do a couple of bigger numbers, and then do it again and condense them and fill a couple of bigger numbers, and see how you get on. It might take you slightly longer than 52 weeks, but it will get there. It'll get done. So I am going to put my £10 into my savings challenge, just because I want to feel like I'm achieving something. And there's another small part-time income coming in, because I've not managed to get much in the way of overtime this week, which is pretty disappointing. I was supposed to be working tonight, but at the last minute they told me that they had enough people working the shift, so that's an extra, I only do like 4-hour shifts, so it's an extra 40 quid that we would have had that we're not going to, unfortunately. So ow, there we go. So I've filled the number 10, so I am going to colour it in. I still need to make one of these and laminate it so that I can kind of, if I do sort of condense a couple of smaller envelopes, I don't have to remake the whole thing. But it's fine. For now, it's fine. So that is sorted. And then earlier I mentioned about possibly doing the penny saving challenge. Now, I saw it recently, and it's kind of like the weekly challenge, only every day you save. So if you number the days 1, 2, 3, 6, 5 in the year, every day you save that amount of pennies for that day. Does that make sense? I may have to re-record that bit because I'm not sure that's making sense. So on day 9 you'd save 9p, and day 52 you'd save 52 pence. So I've got £1, 20, 30, 40, 50, £1.60 here. So I could fill number 160 in that savings challenge. So I just get a separate jar and then fill that separately. And I could still, because this jar of pennies is really handy. It's good for change. And I also use it, so if my daughter does a little chore around the house, it might be feeding the cat, or it might be checking his water, or it might be mopping up a spill or something. If she does something like that, I let her come and pick a penny out of my big jar of pennies. She still gets kind of an allowance, I guess. She's very young, so she doesn't use it. But we still put a specific amount into an account for her every month. And this is just kind of over and above. And she puts it into a little money box, but everything that we get for her still comes out of her child benefit, as I've shown previously. So it's just fun for her to come and take a penny and put it into a money box, and eventually she will understand that the silver pennies are worth more than the copper pennies, and I will be in big trouble. So maybe what I'll do is keep, I don't know, I mean, I feel like the penny challenge is going to fill up pretty quickly, so I think I'm going to do it. Yes, I'm going to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into something. What am I going to put it into? So I've got one of my little laminated envelope thingies left over. So I'm going to put this money into here. And then when I do my next video on Friday, I will have made a little sheet that I can colour in with this savings challenge. And I can start properly then. So glad I made the decision, because I was umming and ahhing about it and thinking, yeah, but I like my big jar of pennies, and yeah, no, that's going to make me feel like I'm kind of accomplishing something else. It's all about, for me, it's all about feeling like I'm achieving something. Like, I always want to be working towards something. I always want to be learning something new and trying something new. So yeah, I think that's really going to help. Yeah, I think it's really... So yeah, I really think that's going to help me feel like I'm achieving something. So the only other thing that I wanted to talk about today was that in a couple of weeks' time, our part-time income is going to drop a little bit. So I have quite severe carpal tunnel in my left hand. So I'm going in for an operation in July, the middle of July, to have that fixed. So I'm going to be off sick from the part-time job for probably, I mean, when I look on the web, like the NHS website and various kind of medical kind of websites and stuff where they've done studies on the recovery time and stuff, recovery for carpal tunnel is anywhere from like 2 weeks to 6 weeks, even up as far as like 3 months to regain full function in the hands. If I was doing like an office job where I was just typing and what have you, I might not need so much time off, but because I work in a supermarket and it's kind of picking and packing and filling shelves and things, and there's a lot of that kind of pincer grip movement, that really irritates the carpal tunnel, and it's getting worse and worse. So previously the only problem that I had was that in a certain position my hand would go numb, whereas now if it's irritated, often after I've done a shift and it's a lot of grabbing and kind of gripping things, and the pin, like I say, the pincer movement, I get a constant pain in the base of my thumb, and that kind of I get shooting pains up those two fingers. So I'm very thankful that I'm getting it sorted soon. It's not ideal having time off work and going down to statutory sick pay, but it is better than nothing. And I have been trying to get my overtime in to kind of bump that statutory sick up to my normal weekly, or at least my basic weekly income. But having our sinking funds and our savings is really going to help us if I need longer off than expected. So there's going to be a bit of a change in how much I'm putting away on the Friday. And you're probably going to see me in a bandage in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. As I've said before, if you are new to budgeting, if you have anything that you would like me to cover, or if you would like to speak to me directly, then feel free to get in touch. If you have been budgeting and doing a cash budget for a lot longer than I have, then do please get in touch and give me advice and guidance, and link me to your channel or your Instagram or your Facebook or whatever, and we can kind of share ideas and help each other really. If it's about my YouTube skills, then do please get in touch as well. If there's something that I should be including that I'm not, or anything, when you're watching YouTube videos you don't always notice all the little things that experienced YouTubers do. So perhaps there's something glaringly obvious that I have missed out that I should be including in my videos. If you found this at all helpful, do please give me a thumbs up, and if you would like to see my future videos and join me on my journey through YouTube and budgeting and mum life and all of that good stuff, then consider subscribing and hit that little bell and you can get notifications. I'm rambling again, so there's probably going to be a little bit of text on screen at some point during this video saying incoherent rambling removed for your convenience, because I'm doing it again. So thank you for sticking with me and for tuning in and subscribing if you have subscribed, and considering it if you haven't. And I really hope that you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Happy budgeting!